Bzzz. Do you hear that? It's the sound of Beyonce's team fighting to ban these unforgettable photos online. And wait, there's more, because these A-list celebs also don't want you seeing them at their worst. BuzzFeed posted 33 photos of Beyonce from her halftime show that she hated so much she got her publicist, Yvette Noel Schur, to email them, demanding 7 of them be removed. As a public figure, Beyonce's life is constantly under scrutiny. For someone who seemingly always has everything under her control, there have been a few times she hasn't, and this was one of those times. In the email that BuzzFeed received from Beyonce's publicist, it read, "Thanks for taking my call. As discussed, there are some unflattering photos on your current feed that we are respectfully asking you to change. I am certain you will be able to find some better photos." Then she listed them as number 5, 6, 10, 11, 12, 19, and 22, and ended off her email with just a simple "thank you very much." BuzzFeed said they emailed back asking for further explanation but didn't receive a response, so they kept the photos up. The original article that BuzzFeed actually posted had 33 photos in it, and they labeled it as the 33 fiercest moments from Beyonce's halftime show. Beyonce's 2013 Super Bowl halftime show was a showcase of female empowerment and a reunion with her former bandmates. The performance was praised by critics and became one of the most tweeted about moments of the time. Beyonce performed a medley of her hits, including Crazy in Love, Love on Top, End of Time, and Baby Boy. She was joined by her former Destiny's Child bandmates Michelle Williams and Kelly Rowland. The performance was described as frenetic and fierce. Some critics said it was proof of life and the night's true event. Her outfit, though, is what most people talked about, however, with many saying it didn't give off feminine vibes, which now makes sense as to why the photos she didn't want us all to see looked rather masculine and kind of unflattering. Many people were trying to guess, the designer, Thierry Mugler, Givenchy Couture. That's what we suspected watching Beyonce's hardcore leather and lace corset and boots outfit, or was it just leather and lace at the Super Bowl halftime show? But no, it's in fact the work of New York designer Ruben Singer. Singer is no stranger to the world of fashion, but designing the costumes for a style icon like Beyonce to perform at one of the year's most widely viewed sporting events was a completely different situation for him. Singer had worked with the singer, songwriter, and actress over the years and presented, storyboards from his fall 2013 collection to Beyonce's stylist Raquel Smith and Ty Hunter right after Thanksgiving. The concept perfectly captured the diva's vision for her Super Bowl performance. After he received the assignment, Knowles and Singer set forth on an accelerated collaborative process in early December. The next 2 months involved no less than 5 fittings and well over 200 man-hours, with a team of 14 dedicated people to creating the final look at the designer's New York City store. 1 full week leading up to the event in daily dress rehearsals at the New Orleans Superdome was also required to make sure everything was perfect for the big night. The stage costumes are based on Singer's fall 2013 collection entitled Valkyries Dominion. Now, in Norse mythology, a Valkyrie is a female figure who decides which soldiers pass in battle and which live. Other points of inspiration come from the striking images of late 70s, early 80s Helmut Newton and the play on masculine-feminine associated with 1930s film actress Marlene Dietrich. Now, the performance's opening look, set to the hit song Crazy in Love, consisted of 2 pieces. A black leather cropped motorcycle jacket with exaggerated shoulders and an asymmetrical collar with dramatic wing cuffs were paired with a micro mini asymmetrical wrap skirt in liquid nylon made of nylon, metal, silk, and plastic that Singer exclusively created for her. Later in the performance, after removing the motorcycle jacket, Knowles wore a black leather bodysuit reminiscent of warrior armor. Stripes of engineered python, paneled iguana, and trampunto pick stitch leather were sewn together in contrast to the, flounce skirt and insets of delicate black chantilly lace in areas where skin could be seen. This item proved to be incredibly incredibly challenging as it sounds, and as it is not only needed to be dramatic, but also had to withstand the, rigorous dance moves required for the performance. Singer said, "This piece is truly couture in every way." While describing the process, he said, my seamstresses were assembling all of the leather and exotic skins individually by hand. All of the pieces were separate details that were all constructed for her body and on her body. We had to make the bodysuit have a tremendous range of motion and flexibility. Beyonce is such a fierce and intense performer, so we could not, have the outfit constrict her in any way, which I totally get. In addition to Beyonce's costumes, Singer created the costume for former Destiny's Child bandmate Michelle Williams, as well as the jackets for the show's 120 backup dancers. Singer presented, his fall-winter 2013 collection during New York City's Fashion Week that year. Now, BuzzFeed presented, the look in a series of photos highlighting each striking pose she did, each facial expression that she made, and contrary to the public's opinion, and well, Beyonce's opinion too, BuzzFeed said that every single photo looked fierce, strong, and beautiful. One person on social media said, "If I were a celebrity on the outside, I'd be like, haha, those pics are so funny, guys, I look crazy. But on the inside, I'd be like, if I see this picture one more time, I'm gonna lose it. People are making fun of me because I was dancing my behind off for my performance. I trained so hard for this, I'm gonna flip. Oh my God, delete the internet, I hate everyone." Another person on Twitter said, "My dad once posted a photo on Facebook of me mid-blink eating a chocolate. I would have straight up unalived my dad before letting, that stay online, so I don't blame her." Another person provided, a different perspective, saying, "Those are obviously unflattering pics, but she served an amazing and powerful performance with all that energy. One could expect those kind of gestures. It's sad that she desperately wanted to erase them, but on the other hand, I know how cruel some people can be on the internet making memes and stuff." Fast forward now to the most recent halftime show, which many say Beyonce arguably delivered one of the greatest halftime shows in NFL history, and it wasn't even the Super Bowl. The 43-year-old pop star took the field midway through the Christmas game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans to perform first-time live renditions of several hit tracks off her latest Grammy-nominated album, Cowboy Carter. As to be expected, there appeared to be several Easter eggs and hidden messages embedded not only within her show-stopping performance, but also within pre- and post-show, promotional content. While Queen Bee, was famously joined by her eldest daughter, Blue Ivy Carter, Post Malone, and Shaboozey during the performance, there were several lesser known but still notable figures that took the stage beside her too. In her pre-recorded intro, she sang her version of Blackbird by the Beatles alongside fellow Black country stars, Raina Roberts, Tanner Adele, Brittany Spencer, and Tiara Kennedy, who also are actually featured on the track. At various moments throughout the show, Beyonce also showcased several groundbreaking, country icons, including Mexican cowgirl Melanie Rivera, pioneering bull rider Meredith Stiteman Jr., Miss Rodeo Texas Princess 2004, and Miss Rodeo Texas 2015, Nikki Woodward, and the first Black rodeo queen in Arkansas, Jediah Kirsch. Now, meanwhile, a caravan carrying Houston Texans owner Cal McNair and his wife Hannah rode onto the field as Beyonce sang her cover of Dolly Parton's Jolene. The Texans cheerleaders fittingly made up part of her backup dancing ensemble, in addition to nearly 200 members of Texas Southern University's Ocean of Soul marching band. During her pre-recorded intro of 16 Carriages, Beyonce could be seen passing by exactly 16 Cadillacs as she rode through the stadium's, tunnels on a white horse. When it came time for Post Malone's, guest appearance for their song, the two actually duetted, while leaning against a pickup truck appropriately covered all in denim. Now, all of the photos that were taken, Beyonce definitely approved of this time. She made sure that no one was gonna play with her, this go around. And you could tell she didn't make any strong facial expressions or movements that would look unflattering in photos. Next up, we have Angelina Jolie and her brother. Sometimes celebrities have a strangely close bond with their siblings. Look at the Kardashians, the Hemsworths, the Olsen twins, or even the Jonas Brothers, stuck to each other like glue. But some stars have really gone that extra mile smiled to show off their kinship, such as Angelina Jolie and her brother James Haven, who shared a very bizarre kiss on the red carpet at the 2000 Academy Awards. Back in 2000, after Angelina Jolie won her first Oscar, she and her brother James sparked a lot of controversy with a kiss, which Jolie later clarified was just an expression of brotherly love and dismissed any other, rumors of anything else. Haven also clarified that the kiss was just a simple and lovely gesture, but the media made it into a very big thing. It became a hot topic, of course, and after some time, Jolie tried to get all of us to forget, but we didn't. No, we certainly did not. Next on my list is Khloe Kardashian. Khloe Kardashian has been the center of many Photoshop fails, but fans noticed how the wall was bending weirdly in one of her pictures. With this particular picture, Khloe had to take to social media to state that she actually wasn't the one who posted that picture and covered it up by saying it was her glam team who had posted it. Khloe kept digging a hole for herself by continuously denying her posting the picture and stating, "I never even posted this photo. Maybe my glam did, but I didn't. Also, the bent lines in the back, LOL, please." Fans were not having this. They were saying, "Khloe, there are pictures of it literally on your feed. This level of lying and gaslighting is insane. Wow." That actually leads me to her sister, Kim Kardashian. Candid photos are some of the Kardashians' favorite pictures to post on their social media because they are in the moment. And sometimes paparazzi get good angles of them, that they love. Kim Kardashian has always been known to post paparazzi photos on her Instagram, and this wasn't any different. But fans noticed how the car in the back was very photoshopped. She received so much backlash that Kim had to post a statement on her social media saying, "I'm seeing online and on news media outlets that I suffered a Photoshop fail. So ridiculous. I reposted a picture on Instagram that a fan had already posted. I only added a little filter to it. It looks like the fan mirrored the photo, which is why the car looks like that. So this is actually hilarious to me. Who would even Photoshop a car to look like that? LOL. Sure, Kim, I guess we'll believe you. Sure." Axl Rose is next. In 2016, GNR singer Axl Rose demanded that an image he claimed was released without his consent or approval be removed from the internet by Google. The image in question was taken of the Star's frontman, at a 2010 concert in Canada, actually, by Boris Minkovic and published in the Winnipeg Free Press. Now, the photo was quickly stolen from the newspaper's website and used to make memes mocking Rose's weight. Rose then hired Web Sheriff to get the photo taken offline. The reason he wanted it down so bad is because it started trending as people were making fat Axl memes and sharing them everywhere on social media. It does sound like bullying to me, but one person posted one caption that said, "Remember the 80s? He ate them." Please don't hate me for finding that one funny. Admit it, you laughed a little, didn't you? Torrent Freak reported at the time that a notice was sent to some sites that hosted the photo reading "Copyright image of Axl Rose. Please be advised that no permission has been granted to publish the copyright image, so we cannot direct you to an authorized example of it." It never got taken down. Jennifer Aniston does not want you to see these photos or videos of her smoking a cigarette on her birthday. Despite her very good girl image, Jennifer Aniston has a long history of smoking, which she has said she since quit. But in 2022, the actress and wellness advocate was pictured lighting up a bogey amid her birthday celebrations. Her ex-husband, Justin Theroux, posted a video of the actor lighting a cigarette before it was quickly deleted off his Instagram story. Aniston has admitted that she was a chain smoker for years, very early on in her career, regularly making her way through a pack of cigarettes a day, like one pack a day. But in 2007, 3 years after finishing her hit show Friends, she decided to quit, saying the habit was affecting her health, energy, and even her relationships. Well, the lie detector determined that was a lie. As much as we know she'd love us to forget and wishes we never saw it, well, I'm sorry, Jen. Once on the web, forever in the cloud. Kris Jenner isn't immune to this list at all. As the matriarch, of the Kardashian-Jenner empire, Kris Jenner needs to be smart about what she posts on social media because she represents her daughters as well. Kris posted a picture of herself and Chef Gordon Ramsay to show he supported her cookbook. Now, this would have been a great picture, but it became overlooked heavily by the amount of filters used on the image. In the photo, Kris looks very smooth on her face, but Gordon Ramsay seems very very different. It was noticeable to fans because Ramsey posted the unedited picture on his own social media platform. So this was a classic case of like, as long as I look good, I don't really care how you be looking type of vibe. I mean, I'm guilty because I've done that, but I'm not Kris Jenner and I can get away with it. I'll admit, as someone who, you know, kind of cares how I look in pictures, not so much in videos, clearly, but it was not her finest moment. This pic that Gordon shared, yeah, it wasn't that flattering, so I see why she'd want to give it the old edits and glitz and glam to it, but to be fair, they both looked fine. It was not that bad, never that serious where she had to do all that. She should have maybe just made it a bit more subtle. Kate Middleton is next. Yes, the Princess of Wales herself. Do not come for me, I love the royal family, okay? But they are not exempt. The Princess of Wales raised eyebrows after uploading an image sitting alongside her and Prince William's 3 children. Hours after the pic was shared online, several international news agencies reportedly refused to share the upload, claiming the source had manipulated the image. Kate addressed the controversy and admitted to tweaking the Mother's Day snapshot. Now, an X post, formerly known as Twitter, shared through the official Prince and Princess of Wales account said, like many amateur photographers, I do occasionally experiment with editing. I wanted to express my apologies for any confusion the family photograph, that we shared yesterday caused. I hope everyone celebrating has a happy Mother's Day. It was innocent, harmless, and we have forgiven her. Paula Abdul is up. The Straight Up performer shared a seemingly edited picture of herself and Kathy Hilton, who is Paris Hilton's mom, at the Bravo Stars holiday party back in December of 2022. Abdul's new look confused fans as they took to the comment section to say she did not resemble her natural self. One of her followers commented on Instagram saying, "This looks like a completely different person." Another person wrote, "Wow, I don't understand this. Everyone knows what you actually look like. The amount of editing here is embarrassingly obvious." And a third person said, "Holy words I can't say in this video, she looks like a kid." Several social media users even went as far as to joke that Abdul in the photos was an imposter, and people asking, "Where's Paula? What have you done with her?" Some people even think she may have been hacked. Abdul never actually addressed it, but she did remove the photos, which basically, speaks for itself. And last up, I have Gigi Hadid. Now, a March 2017 Vogue issue celebrating fashion's fearless female showed Gigi, reaching across Kendall Jenner to rest her hand on Ashley Graham. Now, not only do people wonder whether or not Graham's curves have been slimmed down for the cover shoot, which is problematic, but many were skeptical about the Photoshop wizardry that elongated her arm basically an extra few inches. Now, the way it's placed, this hand looks like it belongs to Gigi Hadid, but it's just so long. If it is meant to be Gigi's hand, that means Gigi's arm is incredibly long enough to hold on to both Kendall and Ashley. Or perhaps it's been, just photoshopped, which feels like the more likely option. I mean, I think we would all have noticed if Gigi's arm had been dragging on the floor this entire time. It's possible that the mystery hand is actually Ashley's on her own waist, creating the illusion of a super long Gigi arm. But if that's the case, where's Gigi's hand? Is she able to bend her wrist at a sharp 90-degree angle? Vogue nor Gigi ever responded to the controversy about this, and we might never know, but you decide for yourself like I did, and I'm sticking with that it is a Photoshop fail. Which one had you laughing the most? Maybe all, maybe none. Let me know either way. Thanks for watching. I'm your host Ashley, and it's been great catching up. First up, Justin Bieber. Throwing up in public is embarrassing for all of us, but doing it in front of thousands of fans, that is, well, thousands of times worse. In September 2012, during the opening night of his Believe tour in Glendale, Arizona, Justin Bieber was performing Out of Town Girl when he abruptly turned away from the audience and vomited on stage. He briefly exited, but soon returned to continue the show. What a trooper, right? But then, during his song Beauty and a Beat, he upchucked all over the stage again. Yikes. Bieber apologized to the crowd, claiming he was sick from drinking too much milk before the concert and asked the fans if they still love him despite him throwing up on stage. Of course they all screamed, which clearly indicated that they would and do still love him. Jennifer Lawrence winning an Oscar is supposed to be a very glamorous moment, unless of course you wipe out on your way to accept it. That is what happened to Jennifer Lawrence at the 2013 Academy Awards when she tripped and fell to her knees while walking up the stairs to accept her Best Actress Oscar for Silver Linings Playbook. Upon finally reaching the podium, the crowd gave her a standing ovation, and she joked saying, "You guys are just standing because you feel bad that I fell. And that's really embarrassing, but thank you. Not gonna lie, it was really embarrassing." But the fall and her good-natured way of handling the awkward moment led to people actually applauding her as refreshingly, kind of relatable. Honestly, winning an Oscar can be more cringy or embarrassing, as you will actually see next. That brings me to Adrien Brody. Winning an Oscar is supposed to help your career, not make people think badly of you. Unfortunately for Adrien Brody, that's exactly what happened. When his name was called as the winner of this year's Best Actor Oscar for his role in The Brutalist, Brody stood, pulled out his gum, and tossed it toward his partner Georgina Chapman before proceeding to go to the stage. Then, upon actually reaching the podium, he embarked on an unfocused and unextraordinary acceptance speech that would set a new record for its length, nearly 6 minutes long. Even when the orchestra mercifully attempted to play him off, Brody persisted, requesting the music be stopped. He even remarked saying, "I've done this before, thank you, it is not my first rodeo." He previously actually won for The Pianist. Now, falling on the way to the stage doesn't actually seem so bad now, does it? Steve Harvey is up. The 2015 Miss Universe contest, where at the dramatic conclusion, host Steve Harvey declared Miss Columbia as the new Miss Universe. The crowd actually erupted in cheers. Miss Columbia beamed with excitement, and she was even crowned and handed flowers. But moments later, a visibly uncomfortable Steve Harvey returned and awkwardly admitted, saying, "I have to apologize. The first runner-up is Columbia. Miss Universe 2015 is actually Miss Philippines." Gas basically filled the room as pageant officials removed the crown from Miss Columbia's head and placed it on Miss Philippines. Harvey later said, "I took my stupid behind back out there. I should have let them announce it the next day in the newspaper. I wouldn't have caught none of the crap I caught." I mean, Steve, it was your mistake, so admitting it was the right move. And what century are you living in where the newspaper would announce it the next morning? It would have been all over social media in like an hour or less later. Madison Pruitt is next. This one may escape you, as she's not your typical celebrity, but if you're a Batch fan like me, you'll know her and likely know of this super cringe moment in time she wishes no one would see or remember. So in 2020, Madison Pruitt, a contestant on the show The Bachelor, appeared to leave a fawning comment on one of her own Instagram posts, writing, "Beautiful date, Maddie, you are so genuine and so real." It seemed that she intended to post the compliment from a fake fan account, but forgot to switch accounts. Fans on Reddit roasted her, saying nothing says genuine and real like having a fake Instagram account to comment compliments on your public one. And another person wrote, "OMFG, commenting without switching to a fan account of yourself is embarrassing enough, but commenting that you're so genuine and real is sending me. What a nightmare combination of cringe." Pruitt later claimed that it was a friend's comment mistakenly posted from her account. Sure, Maddie, sure. David Hasselhoff does not want you to see this leaked footage of him. In 2007, a video surfaced showing a drunk and shirtless David Hasselhoff struggling to eat a hamburger while lying on the floor. It turned out that Baywatch star's daughter, Taylor Ann, had made the video to show her dad, severity of his drinking problem. However, it was leaked to the public. While it was not a fun experience for the Hoff, he later said the video played a very pivotal role in his recovery journey and acknowledged that the public's, exposure served as a wake-up call. In a statement at the time, he said, "For me, it was actually a good sign because it was a wake-up call and it brought everything to a head. Finally, I just said, look, this has all got to stop." Hasselhoff's battles with alcohol go back at least to 2002 when he first entered rehab. He had a DWI in 2004 and he said his concern was mainly for his daughters. He actually briefly lost visitation rights right after that video surfaced, but he has since had them restored. Now, as of 2025, reports indicate that Hasselhoff remains committed to his sobriety. Next, we have Lindsay Lohan and her very bizarre Instagram Live video. Now, the Instagram Live sees Lohan approach an apparently homeless family who she identifies as Syrian refugees and that she is really worried about about them. The actress initially offers to take the two young boys to a hotel to watch a film and suggests the children should not be on the floor. However, when the family refuses, the actress becomes increasingly hostile. She even said to the mother, "You should be a hardworking woman and you should be doing what you can for your children so they have a better life." After a few minutes, the family decided to actually pick up their belongings and move away from her. Towards the end of the 10-minute video, the interaction becomes physical as Lindsay is seemingly pushed to the floor by the mother. It is not clear where the video was filmed, but Lindsay had at the time tagged her social media posts to Moscow and Paris. Now, many responded angrily to the post and accused the actress of trying to basically take and steal the young boys, while others described the video as just shocking, disgusting, and very uncomfortable to watch. Heather Morris. Sometimes people can mean well, but still seriously embarrass themselves. Take Glee star Heather Morris, who in June of 2023 posted an interpretive dance tribute to George Floyd on social media. Yes, you heard that right, an interpretive dance tribute to George Floyd. And honestly, it sounds like something her Glee character Brittany Pierce would have done. Now, in the video, Morris performed in a very emotional dance set to spoken word audio addressing racial injustice. Now, while intended as a heartfelt tribute, many viewers found the performance insensitive and self-indulgent, criticizing Morris for making the tragedy about herself. One person wrote on Twitter, "This girl had not even one friend to tell her this was stupid." Heather Morris doing an interpretive dance to represent George Floyd's passing, "I really thought I'd seen it all." Another person on X wrote, "I genuinely want to know what possessed Heather Morris to do this. Honestly, there's no doubt she wishes this one would have stayed in drafts, as we all wish too. I'm still mind blown." She posted it thinking, wow, yes, this is great. Next up, we have Kristen Stewart. This was a huge scandal back then, as Kristen was dating Robert Pattinson, her Twilight co-star, and he was one of the most sought after men in Hollywood at the time. So in 2012, footage of Kristen kissing her Snow White and the Huntsman director went viral on the internet. He was married to model Liberty Ross at the time, who filed for divorce shortly after the affair came to light. Stewart received massive backlash for her act. She faced massive public scrutiny, and during one of the confessions, Kristen actually mentioned that she had no reason behind cheating on Robert. She was going through a very, self-destructive phase in her life when her affair with Rupert began. Rupert would go on the record as well and say that it was just a momentary lapse, and said, "You never know what's coming in life. Around every corner there's something unexpected, and that's life." The Twilight lovebirds actually did give it another chance to love when they reconciled in October of that year, but things didn't work out as they finally ended their long-term relationship in May of 2013. Last but not least, Fergie is up. Fergie, known for her work with the Black Eyed Peas, of course, performed a very slowed down, jazzy version of the Star-Spangled Banner at the NBA All-Star Game. Now, the performance was met with a huge mix of confusion and amusement, with many finding it out of place and even in an inappropriate, sensual tone. The performance became a viral sensation, with social media users sharing memes and jokes about Fergie's rendition. Now, in response to the backlash, Fergie issued an apology, stating that she wanted to try something special for the NBA, but that her rendition clearly didn't strike the intended tone. Some speculated that Fergie was attempting to emulate Marvin Gaye's iconic 1983 All-Star Game performance, which was also a unique and bluesy rendition of the anthem. Golden State Warrior star Draymond Green was actually seen on camera cracking a smile during the performance, further fueling the social media buzz. Now, Charles Barkley joked that he needed a cigarette after Fergie's performance during the halftime show. She wishes this footage could disappear, but honestly, I'm glad it's still out there. It's a great pick-me-up when you need a good laugh. Chris Evans is first, and I'm taking the title literally with this first one. This actor is best known for playing Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Well, in 2020, fans got an unexpected treat after the actor shared some very personal photos of himself online. Evans accidentally posted a nude photo of himself on Instagram. The photo was quickly deleted, but of course it was screenshotted and shared widely online. Evans later poked fun at the incident on Twitter, saying, "Now that I got your attention, vote." The incident was trending on Twitter, and several jokes and memes were made. Some fans thought he did it on purpose, and some thought it was likely just honestly an honest mistake. One person online had a question to everyone though that said, "Do you guys think that there's a double standard in the regards to how men are treated when they leak nudes versus how women are treated when the same thing happens? Because from my point of view, women, when something like this does happen, are given a more hostile approach. However, in regards to Chris Evans, his fans were really great from what I've seen. They filled Chris Evans searches with photos of Chris and puppies with masks on, anything they could do to divert the attention. happen. There seems to be a general consensus that what happened to him was really crappy. However, when female celebrities, risky photos were to leak, then there would be such a mixed bag of, opinions. That person does make a good point, and most people agreed that there is a double standard in Hollywood. What do you guys think? Kanye West is next. This American rapper and fashion designer is no stranger to public meltdowns, scandals, controversy, and whatnot. We can't seem to escape him, and honestly, I think we're all so tired, are we not? But back in 2020, West accidentally revealed his private conversations with Taylor Swift about her song Famous on Snapchat. Now, the conversation showed West asking Swift for permission to use the lyrics, which contradicted, Swift's previous claims that she had never given permission. Swift called the leak a character assassination. She also said that she was never given the full story or played the song. In clips that were posted to Twitter at the time, the rapper is heard asking Swift to release his new song to her Twitter account after telling Swift he included a very controversial line about her, in the song. West then tells Swift he's been mulling over the lyrics for 8 months and warns her, that it's gonna be a little Eminem a little bit and to brace yourself for a second. After Famous was released in February of 2016, Swift's reps said the singer declined and cautioned him about releasing a song with such a strong misogynistic message. Taylor was never apparently, made aware of the actual lyrics. Kim would then go on to call Taylor a snake and said that she was made aware. Honestly, the whole thing was so messy. I actually do remember watching it on Keeping Up, and I was just as confused then as I am now. Jay-Z, this rapper and entrepreneur known for also being Beyonce's husband, is another celebrity who accidentally exposed his secrets online. In 2011, Jay-Z accidentally tweeted his private conversation with Kanye West about their album, Watch the Throne. The conversation revealed the two rappers' creative process and their opinions on each other's music. Nothing too crazy there, but he definitely tried to delete those tweets. Britney Spears, this 90s icon, has been open about her struggles with mental health. However, in 2007, Spears accidentally revealed her psychiatric evaluation on her website. The evaluation showed that Spears had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder and had been experiencing psychotic episodes. While these diagnoses, should be by now normalized, I do agree. Well, at the time, and for someone with Britney's status, it was not ideal to have this exposed to the world. It only made her a little more on edge, and well, we all know how that next decade went for her, so case in point. Justin Bieber. In 2019, Justin Bieber posted an Instagram story calling out the Daily Telegraph for misspelling his name in a headline, writing, "How are you gonna spell my name wrong after all these years? Haha." However, fans quickly noticed his search history was also included in that photo, which showed pages on Selena Gomez's Coachella performance. Bieber, who, of course is married to Hailey Bieber, had notably dated Gomez when they were both really young stars. He then commented saying that video of Selena singing Taki Taki came up after my wife and I watched my Coachella performance. Obviously, she's gonna be in the related category. To fans and people who think I'm maliciously trying to start crap, grow up. So it doesn't seem like he was searching for her deliberately, but you know how social media is. So of course they took this and ran about 5 miles with it. Hailey Bieber, she once accidentally followed a Selena Gomez fan page back in November of 2018. She then very quickly unfollowed it, with the fan account posting a screenshot of Hailey messaging her in her DMs saying, "Hey, followed you by accident, so sorry." Fans thought she was trying to stay up to date on Selena's activity since she used to date Justin Bieber. Now, Hailey and Selena have had a rumored, feud in the past, but both shut down those rumors on social media lately. Now, fans of Gomez actually flooded the comment section, leading the person behind the account to actually turn off the ability to reply and comment. The Instagram user wrote, "I turned off comments because y'all are going off. Can y'all stop hating? Just that. I feel bad for the times I've shaded her, and that's that. Jeez." Travis Barker. While Travis Barker did mention the name Rocky as a contender for his child with Kourtney Kardashian Barker during her pregnancy, the name was not confirmed until after he was born, except the name had actually been confirmed months earlier if you looked at Instagram stories from the baby shower. By zooming in on one photo, viewers were able to spot a note on a wishing tree addressed to Rocky, which read, "My baby Rocky, have a life filled with love." Kylie Jenner. Back when 17-year-old Kylie Jenner was only rumored to be dating Tyga, who is 7 years older than her, she appeared to reveal their relationship by posting a photo on Snapchat with the rapper, which was of course quickly deleted. Now, the controversial relationship, was eventually soft launched by Tyga on Instagram, with Kanye West and Khloe Kardashian appearing to actually confirm the relationship rumors in interviews. Robin Thicke. This wasn't posted by Robin, but still, at a VMA after party, Robin Thicke actually took a photo with a fan. Her name is Lana Scalaro. After the photo was uploaded, people started to notice that you could see Thicke grabbing Scalaro's backside in the mirror behind them, which Scalaro actually then confirmed did happen. Thicke, who never addressed the photo once, was married to Paula Patton at the time. The photo made waves online, contributing to Thicke's status as just a controversial figure. Thicke and Patton would later divorce, with many people saying it was that incident that caused their separation. Katy Perry. Back in 2015, Katy Perry posted a video of her dog on Instagram and Twitter. What she didn't realize was that the dog's tag showed her phone number and was visible in the video. Perry quickly deleted the video and deactivated her number after receiving so many calls from fans, of course. So many people took to Twitter to alert her, and some fans said they didn't even notice. Nevertheless, as a celebrity, having your personal phone number exposed, I would imagine, would be the worst case scenario. Last step is Howie Mandel. Howie accidentally told the world about his OCD diagnosis on Howard Stern's radio show in the late 90s. A guest had apparently touched the door after touching their private area, and Mandel did not want to touch the door with his hands. He said, "They thought it was funny, and I get it. I think it's funny too, to try to get me to touch the door, but I started having a panic attack." Because he's a friend, I said, "Please, Howard, I've been diagnosed with something called OCD. I'm medicated, and if you don't open the door now, I can tell that you're gonna have to call 911. They opened the door, but then Mandel realized the show was still broadcasting live. He had not yet told the public about his OCD. He walked outside devastated after that happened, and he was thinking, this was the end, and I didn't know what to do. I was contemplating running straight into traffic in Manhattan there, standing on the sidewalk, when somebody came up to me and said, 'Are you Howie Mandel?' And I said, 'Yeah,' and he said, 'I just heard you on Howard Stern. Me too. I suffer from it too. And it was so good to hear you talk.' Mandel then, started receiving letters from others thanking him for speaking on this condition. He would later become much more open about it. So a happy ending with that one after all.
Bidding at police. That's an intense phrase if I've ever heard one, so let's start with that. This allegedly happened in 2008. Again, it's all alleged because, well, I wasn't there. I was 7, and I have never been on the airline where this happened, aka British Airways. But the subject in question, the person this story centers around, was supermodel Naomi Campbell. The reason she was so upset was because of missing luggage. Missing luggage sucks, no matter who you are. It all happened before the flight even left, though. She somehow realized that her bags weren't making it on with her and refused to let the plane leave without them. It got to a point where police had to come onto that plane to try and defuse the situation, but that clearly didn't work because the supermodel was escorted off after spitting at the officer. She was banned from the airline. Didn't last very long though, like 5 years later she was back on a flight, much to the disappointment of the airline staff. But this wasn't actually the first time that Campbell got into an altercation on a plane. A decade prior, in 1998, she got into an altercation with fellow passengers, and this one looks like it happened midair. Campbell was asleep on the flight, and then people tried to take pictures of her. She got upset with them, and things escalated to the point where she tried to rip the camera from the person's hand. Khabib Nurmagomedov was set to take a flight in January of this year. He was sat in the emergency exit row, and that was apparently a problem. In a video taken of the incident, a manager is seen speaking to the MMA star and telling him that he had 2 options: change seats or exit the flight. He remarked that the treatment and options weren't fair, and he didn't want to change seats. For that reason, he was escorted off. He was honestly pretty respectful about the whole thing, in my opinion. He did get up and exit calmly when he realized that the airline wouldn't budge. He was booked onto a later flight. Once the internet heard about the incident, people were quick to point out that of everyone on that plane, he actually might have been the best choice for the emergency exit row, but looking into why he was asked to leave, apparently when the flight attendant came around to ask the standard exit row questions like, "Can you help people in case of emergency?" or "This is what you do in case of emergency," she had to explain it to the fighter a few times. English isn't his first language, but he can speak it, though he did eventually understand what the attendant was asking him and confirmed that he understood. She felt it would be better if he were moved to another seat, and well, you know what happened after. Probably one of the most impressive track records when it comes to airport arrests belongs to that of Snoop Dogg. So the year's 2006, and 3 airport incidents happened in this one year. The biggest of the trio was him and members of his entourage were trying to get into the VIP lounge at Heathrow Airport. Some people had the tickets to get in, but some people only had economy tickets, so they weren't eligible for entry. People in the group got mad and pushed their way in. Workers obviously protested this and said that the group would not be able to board their flight. Police were called and things escalated to the point where stuff started getting thrown. Nasty words, bottles of alcohol from duty free, and even, in one case, an officer. A quote I found was that a policeman was thrown like a rag doll, and that really just paints the picture of the state of that room for me. Allegedly, it took 4 officers to get Snoop Dogg in handcuffs, there were many injuries, and this all unfolded in front of patrons already in the VIP lounge, so dinner and a show. So that was April. October rolls around and Snoop Dogg was arrested at Bob Hope Airport after he was found to be in possession of a firearm and the green leaves. He was scheduled to appear in court in December for that one, but right before that, in November, CBC News reported that he was charged with a felony for trying to board a plane with a collapsible baton, which is deemed a weapon. He said it was a prop for a future video that he was going to shoot later. However, he did plead guilty and was sentenced to 3 years probation and 160 hours of community service. A decade ago, Kate Moss was removed from her flight to London. She apparently hid some vodka in her bag and drank it, something you can't do. She also tossed some insulting words at the airline staff in her intoxicated state. Allegedly, she got into it with a fellow passenger, but luckily for the most part, the other passengers seemed to be unbothered, or just like less bothered by the supermodel. One person even described her as kind of funny and said that the flight attendants were overreacting. The police did respond to the incident, but the outcome of this was pretty tame in comparison to some other airport incidents. After it all went down, passengers from the flight even came to the defense of the model. A clash over phones and allegedly words with friends had actor Alec Baldwin escorted off his flight in 2011. Hey, anything can happen. So you know, when you're on a flight and the flight attendants ask people to put away their devices, but then there's like that few minutes where the plane doesn't actually take off, so everyone just pulls them out again? That's what this seems like it was. After it all was over, Baldwin explained that he felt singled out by the flight attendant. However, the attendant's story paints a different picture. Either way, it's clear that Baldwin was asked to put his phone away in the middle of words with friends, things escalated, and he was removed from the flight and placed on a later one. The in-between stuff, we'll get into it. Baldwin's story was, he was singled out and asked to put his phone away, while other people got to use theirs still. He did admit that the situation got the better of him. Reps for the airline added some more details, claiming that not only did Baldwin refuse to turn off his device, he allegedly decided to take it into the washroom and slammed the door so hard the cockpit crew heard it through their closed door. He was also allegedly using negative words towards the airline staff and being generally unpleasant. But if you thought words with friends was an interesting catalyst for an in-flight argument, get ready for sagging pants. Billy Joe Armstrong of Green Day boarded a flight in 2011, but a flight attendant was not appreciative of the man's fashion choice of the day. Some airlines, this one included, they don't have like a super strict dress code. However, they do want passengers dressed appropriately to be around, well, young people and the public in general. And that doesn't include sagging pants. Armstrong was the first to break the news of his plane removal, tweeting about it in real time. According to an account of the incident, he had boarded the plane only to be approached by an attendant and asked to pull his pants up. Upon refusal, he was told the pants go up or he's off. And from the end result of this day, one can only imagine that the pants just had to stay down. Things went a bit different for another intoxicated celebrity, Blac Chyna, but her situation seems like it was just a bit different. Whereas Moss just tried to serve her own alcohol and said some mean words, apparently Blac Chyna got into an intense verbal fight with the gate attendant. But that wasn't the main reason she was turned away. Allegedly, she also just smelled intoxicated. After refusing to allow her to board the aircraft, she was redirected to Saxon Pub. The problem was, that was closing, she really couldn't seem to catch a break this day. She then allegedly got into an argument with the bartender, then that ended in the police arriving to help escort the star from the building. She wasn't having a great time and refused to walk and was generally uncooperative. She was also found with some capsule substances in her purse, so it's clear that she was just having a bad day. She did post bail at $8,000 in addition to some counseling and evaluations. E-Online wrote on a report that was filed at the time that claimed the star was charged with a third-degree felony for having the stuff on her. Thankfully, she did have someone looking out for her in the end. Then boyfriend Rob Kardashian posted a photo shortly after her arrest of them FaceTiming. I can say that she is doing much better in 2025. She's engaged and highly successful in her fields. Fame is hard to handle, and one wrong move could cost you everything. Let's get into it. The It Ends With Us drama is never ending. There's a lot of serious accusations flying around, and now even videos. After noticing that director Justin Baldoni and lead actress Blake Lively seemed to keep distance from one another at the It Ends With Us premiere, social media users were quick to deduce that the pair must be feuding. Pretty soon, people were picking sides, some Team Justin, citing past interviews of Lively in which she was rude, others choosing to be Team Blake as no one from the cast was backing Justin and they all seemed to support Lively, which felt weird. Eventually, Lively was losing the battle, and necessarily that Justin was winning either. Lots of people were hating on Blake Lively just because they wanted to, but then it was revealed that Justin had allegedly hired a PR team to start a smear campaign against her, and that's when the lawsuits started flying. Justin sued Blake, she sued back, he sued her husband, Ryan Reynolds. It is a mess. In one of her suits, Lively accused Baldoni of acting inappropriately on set and adding intimate actions into scenes when they were not scripted, etc. These are really serious accusations to make against someone, especially if they are insisting on their innocence. Lively had referenced a particular scene, and so Justin's legal team decided to release footage of that scene to help clear his name. 10 minutes worth of footage. His team had promised that they were going to create a whole website with all the evidence that they have collected to clear Justin's name, which is quite unusual for a legal case. Usually cards are played in the courtroom, but this became a social media trial a long time ago. Releasing the footage ended up really working in Baldoni's favor. Many people began taking his side for a number of reasons. He had receipts, they felt he wasn't being that inappropriate in the scene in the end, they believed that Blake was flirting with him in the scene, there's a lot going on. Point is, Lively has lost a lot of public support, and that's not a good thing in their chosen profession. In order to stay working, actors need the public to love them, or at least appreciate kind of like their body of work. Baldoni is fighting so hard to prove that he is innocent. It's safe to say that of the two, Blake Lively is more famous and has more iconic roles on her resume. That, on its own, gives her a lot of power in Hollywood, plus she's married to Ryan Reynolds. She has a bit of a safety cushion there. Justin doesn't have that luxury, and if he were to lose the public's favor, he would lose everything. At least, that's how a lot of people see it. Before, this situation was between Baldoni and Lively and Ryan Reynolds by extension, but now, Blake Lively has filed an amended complaint that she wasn't the only woman on set that experienced negative behavior at the hands of Baldoni and a producer of the film. She has now claimed that 2 other actresses from that set are ready to testify and give evidence that they also experienced mistreatment during filming. It's not clear yet who the actresses are, though people are speculating that it would be co-stars Jenny Slate, who played Lively's best friend in the movie, and Isabel Ferrer, who played a young Lively. Despite this, people are still firmly anti-Blake and saying that she just can't accept that people just don't like her and that she is on her way to losing a $400 million lawsuit. A$AP Rocky has gone to court and faces up to 24 years in prison after he was accused and caught on camera firing at a past friend of his. Well, at this point I'm just kind of assuming it's a past friend. I don't know how one comes back from an altercation like that and then going to court over it. The initial incident happened actually way back in 2022, so this has been going on for a while. Fans have been on the edges of their seats waiting to hear if A$AP will go free or lose it all. The rapper was accused by a friend of firing at him after the pair got into a verbal and then physical altercation. The incident was captured by surveillance cameras in the area and was shown to the jury, and then later seen by the public when it was leaked online. Rocky's defense rested on the fact that he wasn't actually carrying a weapon and that it was simply a prop. You can hear bangs in the video, but it was agreed that it's hard to see if there were actually projectiles. The victim in the case claimed that his knuckle was brushed with a projectile, and he later received medical attention explanation for it. However, Rocky's defense provided sufficient evidence for reasonable doubt. The victim, however, claims that he had the casings from the incident, but police that responded to the scene say that they couldn't find anything on the day. The argument to remedy this was that the victim just knew where to look. The victim took 2 days to report the incident, and surveillance footage taken on the day allegedly doesn't back up his claim to find the casings. Some people theorize that the victim planted the casings to make ASAP Rocky appear guilty. There was also dramatic moments inside the courtroom too, including one witness calling ASAP Rocky's lawyer annoying, and then another time when another witness was asked about the meaning behind the acronym AWGE, to which Rocky verbally told the man mid-trial to not say anything. It's pretty rare that someone would interrupt court proceedings in this manner. The meaning behind AWGE was never actually shared. In the ASAP Rocky extended universe, this is the thing that only a handful of people know, it seems. It's kind of like his branding, almost like his Fight Club kind of. There's 2 rules: you don't reveal the meaning, and when in doubt refer to rule number 1. But what was this verdict? Did ASAP lose everything, and is he going to be behind bars for up to 24 years? No, he was not found guilty. He was overjoyed with the results and literally ran to hug his girlfriend. And mother to their children, Rihanna. He literally almost jumped over the barrier to get to her. It was really sweet. Fans, they're obviously very happy with the results of the trial. Photos and videos of Justin Bieber out on the town have gone viral recently due to the fact that the singer is looking a bit more tired than normal. People are saying that he looks ragged, haggard, and just downright exhausted. And if he is, I wouldn't blame him. Growing up in the industry is tough, people constantly saying you're on the brink of divorcing your wife is hard, and caring for a brand new little member of the family is difficult. And imagine having to do all that while maintaining a worldwide brand. Now, I don't know about y'all, but that would send me into a nervous breakdown for sure. Bieber and wife, Hailey Bieber, welcomed their son in August of 2024, so they are probably still getting used to having their sleep schedules absolutely demolished. The easy answer to Justin's recent public appearances being less energetic than in the past is that he's simply tired from caring for his new family. However, of course, people have begun to speculate that there's other factors at play. Bieber has been accused of relying on substances, and in general, fans have expressed concerns for the performer's health. Bieber's style has also changed a lot from what people remember seeing him. He's favored an oversized, loose look in recent years that is unlike the pop star persona fans grew attached to. Though it's clear that this fashion is what makes the star comfortable, fans are saying he's let himself go. Rumors of divorce are also running rampant after Justin unfollowed Hailey on social media, and the couple were seen out on the town without the other. Fans were sent into an upset earlier in the year when they noticed that Bieber had unfollowed his wife on Instagram. The star has been on a bit of an unfollow spree lately, and the reason this matters so much to people is because Bieber isn't the type of celebrity that follows 0 people. He's following almost 800 different accounts, so if he unfollows someone, fans take it as a message. In addition to his wife, the star unfollowed past friends and co-workers, and then in the past couple days he's unfollowed a lot of other music artists, and people are just really keeping an eye on things. There was so much chaos online regarding his unfollowing of Hailey that Justin actually posted a statement to his Instagram story to explain what happened. Apparently, his account was hacked. While it might seem ridiculous that his account would be hacked for the sole purpose of unfollowing his wife, I raise you the years of online and, in rare cases, in-person harassment that this couple has endured because people think they shouldn't be together. Whether that's because they don't like him, they don't like her, they want to be with JB, or they want him to get back together with ex-Selena Gomez, this couple has had the cards stacked against them for a long time. Recently, Hailey held a party for her skincare brand, and fans were quick to notice that Justin was not in attendance. Instead, he was spotted out to dinner with friends. Obviously, fans took this as a sign that the couple were on the rocks. Divorce rumors have been around for them since pretty much the beginning of their relationship, despite the couple's attempts to show that everything is alright. Hailey Bieber posted a sweet look at her and Justin's Valentine's Day activities to her Instagram. They went out to dinner and they cuddled, so it was very average if you ask me. Celebrities, they're just like us. Probably the most famous and incredibly heartbreaking account of a celebrity having footage leaked and then losing everything is that of Pamela Anderson. Anderson was discovered after being spotted in the crowd at a sports game. The crowd thought she was gorgeous, and soon she became a model and then later an actress. Her fame steadily grew with appearances in shows like Home Improvement and Baywatch. Eventually, she married Tommy Lee and everything looked like paradise. The couple was clearly happy and in love, but the good times came to a screeching halt when an electrician hired to work on the couple's home was fired. As revenge, the man stole the couple's tape of their intimate moments from their safe and leaked it to the public. Anderson and Lee were torn apart for this, even though it wasn't really their fault at all. People said that Anderson shouldn't be upset though, because she was already acting sensually in magazines and on TV. In one extreme case, she was apparently told that because she posed for a popular sensual magazine, she had no right to privacy. Her blossoming career was put on pause, and she didn't return to the level of fame she once had until very recently. Thanks to recent societal events like the Me Too movement and just, in general, little tolerance for revenge of that manner, Anderson has been able to take back her career. She's received rave reviews for her performance in 2024's The Last Showgirl and her successful 2023 book, Love, Pamela. Oh, and then this goes at the very end of the Justin Bieber point. Oh, and Justin eventually did show up to the party later in the night, but that part wasn't as widely reported on though.